Hi there, I'm Akita, and today I am going to show you how to remove the background of an object, or excuse me, not an object, of an image. That's kind of tricky. It's not a straightforward clip art, remove the background, something like that. A little bit more intricate. For example, and I had this request from someone in my membership or in my Facebook group. I think she's in my Facebook group and in my Printables That Pop membership. But she asked me to make a video that showed how to remove the background of tricky images. Like, for example, curly hair. So we have here our actual model for today. We're going to go ahead and remove the background. And she has all this lovely curly hair and this lovely actual necklace here, which might give us some trouble too, but Photopea is going to help us out with that. So I'm going to show you how to remove tricky images, remove the background of tricky images using Photopea. So download her. She's looking lovely. I'm going to call her Zoe. And we're going to go ahead and go on to Photopea, and we're going to download Zoe into Photopea. So let me click that, bring her on down, and voila, we're in Photopea. Now, Photopea is what I call a freemium sort of product. You can use pretty much all of the different tools and resources in it. Photopea is an actual Photoshop dupe. A lot of the actual things you can do in Photoshop, you can do in Photopea, for the most part. But with it being freemium, there'll be ads on the right hand side of the actual screen, and depending on what tool you want to use, and it might be even some of the tools that I'm going to show you here in this actual tutorial, you might get prompted to actually watch an ad or something like that, because that's how the actual developer is able to get compensated and earn a little bit of funding, a little bit of funds for himself to go ahead and keep this going. So I have the actual purchase. Like, I just went ahead and bought it just because I like to celebrate and out, as well as to support small businesses. But if you are someone who has not purchased this, just so you know, it is freemium. You will see ads. You might get prompted to actually watch an ad to be able to use a tool. So just quick disclaimer, just so you know. All right, so let's go to the background removal really quickly. So over here on the right hand side, you have the image. It's on the right underneath where it says layers. You just want to check to make certain that the image is not locked. So this little lock icon, if it's locked, that means you can't do anything with it, and then you can't edit it, and it's going to be like, what's going on? Nothing's working. It's locked. Just click it again, and then it'll unlock it. All right, so on the left-hand side, where all these different little symbols are, these little icons are, you want to go ahead and find the one that actually says object selection. It's kind of like a little blob. It's toward the top at the time of this filming. But if you hover over your cursor, over any of these actual icons, it'll tell you what it is. It's all good. So object selection, I'm going to right click on it, and then you'll see magic wand, quick selection, object selection. We're going to go ahead and click object selection, and then notice here how you have the little how the cursor has changed now that I hover it over the image. I'm going to make a square right over Zoe, and I'm going to get all of her hair and body in here so that the tool knows what I want to focus in on. So click and drag, and we should be up. Dag nubbins, wait, what happened? Click and drag. Let's try make sure I actually have the image clicked. See, it's all these little things. It's all these little things. Here we go. Click and drag one more time. Boom. Okay, so that does not look good at all. So we're going to go up to select subject, and let's see if we can go ahead and get more of Zoe that looks appropriate. And that's much better. Okay, so the little dot dash lines here, that is what we're looking at. But if I hit Control and plus, and I kind of roll my mouse up, there's some little, flurries of hair and things of that nature that we're missing. So we can do a little something with that. So we're going to go up here to Refine Edge. It's up here at the very, very top next to Select Subject. Underneath this little toolbar, Refine Edge. And so the entire screen changes. We see what we want to refine over here to the left, and we have what it's looking like on the right. So when we hit OK, which is up here on the toolbar, I don't know if I'm even saying that correctly, but I'm going to call it the toolbar. When we hit OK, this is what's going to be left. This is what we're going to see with the background removal. And up here, we're in the Refine Edge portion, as you can see, and it gives us tools to be able to get up close and personal and add more things before we actually remove the entire background. So more elements, so you speak, or like flyaways of hairs and that sort of thing. And it gives you a little bit of customization about your brush and how you use this. And I'm going to show you what those are. Okay, but first things first. See up here where it says the plus? That lets you go ahead and zoom in. So I've hit the little plus symbol with a circle around it, and then I go ahead and kind of bring it over to the image. And when I click, I can get up close and personal. There's Zoe. Yay, she's looking great. If I hit the minus symbol with the circle around it, I can go ahead and click on the image. It'll zoom out. Okay, but we don't want that. Let's go ahead and just zoom on in. Yay, Zoe. All right, so once you know that, also know that if you click the hand, clicking the hand means if you go ahead and click the hand on the image and you kind of drag it around, you can sort of move it and navigate it like so, just to get up close and personal as you might need to isolate certain images to be able to make certain that you have your final image the way that you want it to be. All right, and then over here we have boxes. So this white one we're going to be working with a lot. It says foreground, but that's how we're going to go ahead and bring back some images or some elements to our final image when we actually remove the background. But notice how big this is. This circle, if I clicked it anywhere, it's gonna like be mega huge, and so we don't want that. You want to have more of a controlled edge, a controlled tool. So over here on the left hand side, I'm going to hit this little triangle that's next to this circle that has a number underneath it. And then this allows you to go ahead and choose the size of the circle and how hard it is. So the size itself, I'm just going to click on that. Hardness, say if you want something like very, very kind of light and not like not so smooth of an edge to look more like hair. I just simply click the default, but you can go ahead and adjust the size this way if you wanted to, adjust the hardness, and hardness just simply means it's not as blurred. Like blurriness, if I want it to be completely blurred, all the way to 0%. If you want something nice and hard and like a straight or a circular line, like an actual, like more defined, you move it over to the 100%. I'm just gonna go ahead and go with the default right now and just kind of show you what I mean. Let me make sure I have the foreground clicked. This is very, very small. Let me make it a little bit larger so you can see what I'm doing. Let's up that size just a bit. And notice here how I click and drag, and I tap and I tap, and I tap some more. And so how on the right-hand side, how that's changing, like the hair that pops up and what you can really see. And so you really kind of have to find that secret sauce that's going to give you what you want. Now, if this was like a vector or a regular piece of clip art, this would not be an issue like at all, like period. It would not be an issue because the edges are like they're smooth and they're defined. With hair, curly hair especially in certain patterns, not so much so. I'm zooming out with my mouse and I'm going to zoom in, but you can add and tweak and adjust and click and drag until you get what you want. But this is basically how you would go ahead and remove the background. I'm going to hit OK just for sake of time. Remove the background of an image. Now, you could certainly have done more. I'm going to keep this I'm going to keep this video significantly short, but that is basically how you remove the background of an image, of a tricky image, when you want to be able to go with curly hair, things with flyaways, things that are that don't have quite defined edges. And that's basically how you do it. Hope you enjoyed, and that the next time you actually have an image that looks kind of like tricky, you now know what to do in Photopea to remove the background. All right, that's it for me. You take care. So long.